Jack Reynolds adjusted his worn-out jacket as he pulled into the parking lot of an Arizona animal shelter. The dry desert wind blew dust across his boots, but he barely noticed. It had been years since he last felt whole. Ever since he returned from his final mission overseas, something inside him was missing. His war dog, Rex, had been his companion in the toughest moments of his life, tracking down hostiles, detecting explosives, and even saving his life more times than he could count. But in the chaos of war, they had been separated. The military deemed Rex too injured for duty and sent him away for retirement. Jack had tried to adopt him, but the paperwork had been a mess. By the time he got an answer, Rex was gone, shuffled between adoption centers, lost in the system. Now, standing at the entrance of the shelter, Jack took a deep breath. Maybe he could find another dog. Not to replace Rex, no dog ever could, but something to fill the void in his heart. Inside, rows of kennels lined the walls, filled with eager eyes staring back at him. The sound of barking and whining echoed off the concrete walls. Jack took his time, walking past each kennel, making soft eye contact with every dog. But none of them sparked that connection. Just as he was about to turn and leave, a staff member named Lisa approached him. "There's one more dog," she said hesitantly. "He's in the isolation wing. He doesn't do well with visitors." Jack raised an eyebrow. "What's his story?" Lisa hesitated before speaking. "He was found wandering near the border. Malnourished, covered in scars. We think he was in the military, but there's no record of his handler. He doesn't respond to anyone. No barking, no tail wagging. Nothing." Something inside Jack stirred. "Can I see him?" Lisa nodded and led him through a narrow hallway to a secluded kennel. Inside, curled up in the corner, lay a German shepherd. His fur was rough, patches missing, and his body looked battle-worn. His eyes were hollow, like a soldier who had seen too much. Jack's breath hitched. He took a cautious step closer. "Rex," he whispered. The dog didn't move. Not even an ear twitch. Jack felt his heart sink. Could it really be him? Or was he just desperate to believe? Lisa spoke softly. "He doesn't respond to any name. But he has nightmares, bad ones. And sometimes, he growls in his sleep, like he's in the middle of a mission." Jack's hands clenched into fists. If this was Rex, why didn't he recognize him? "Can I go inside?" Jack asked. Lisa hesitated, then unlocked the gate. "Be careful." Jack stepped in slowly, lowering himself to the ground, making himself as non-threatening as possible. "Rex, it's me, buddy." The dog barely blinked. Jack felt a lump in his throat. He reached into his pocket and pulled out something he hadn't touched in years, a small metal tag attached to a chain. Rex's old military tag. He gently slid it across the floor toward the dog. The metal clinked softly against the concrete. For the first time, the dog moved. His ears flicked slightly. His nose twitched as he sniffed the air. Jack held his breath. Then, something happened that made Jack's blood run cold. The dog's body went rigid. His lips curled slightly, his breathing became heavier, like he was about to attack. Jack didn't move. But then, something deeper took over. The dog's eyes flickered, not with aggression, but with recognition. Slowly, the German shepherd rose to his feet. He walked over, his steps hesitant. His nose touched the metal tag. Then, he looked up at Jack, staring deep into his eyes. And then, a deep, trembling whimper escaped from the dog's throat. Jack felt tears prick his eyes. "It's really you," he choked. Rex lunged forward, not to attack, but to bury his head into Jack's chest. Jack wrapped his arms around him, feeling his body shake. Rex whined, his tail finally wagging. Years of separation, confusion, and pain melted away in that moment. Lisa gasped. I can't believe it. Jack pulled back, looking into Rex's eyes. They told me you were lost, he murmured. I never stopped looking for you. Rex let out a low, rumbling sound, not quite a bark, not quite a growl. It was the sound of a soldier recognizing his commander after a long war. Jack knew right then and there, he wasn't leaving without him. Jack adopted Rex that same day. The road to recovery wasn't easy. The scars on Rex's body weren't just physical, his mind was still trapped in the war. He had night terrors, jumping awake at the slightest sound. He would pace around the house, always on guard. But Jack understood. He knew what it was like to never feel safe. Every day, he sat with Rex, talking to him, training him again, not as a soldier, but as a friend. And little by little, Rex began to heal. One night, as Jack lay in bed, he felt something warm press against his leg. He looked down. Rex had climbed onto the bed, curling up beside him. Jack smiled. Welcome home, buddy. Rex let out a deep sigh of contentment. For the first time in years, both of them finally slept in peace. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like the video to support more inspiring stories. Comment below your favorite moment. Subscribe and turn on notifications for more emotional reunions and incredible true stories. Share this video with your friends, this story deserves to be heard.